I'll say this again. If somebody tells you that you can't fish because you use minnows, you more than likely catch more fish than them, and they just don't like it. I'm being brutally honest about this one. I can't stand when people say, if you use minnows, you don't know how to fish, etc. That makes me sick, especially when I put fish in the boat. What's going on, YouTube? This is 903 Fishing. Got a special episode for you guys today. I'm gonna touch on a pretty touchy subject, all right? Today, I'm gonna be giving you reasons why minnows are the best crappie fishing bait in the summer. There are plenty of good reasons out there. Throughout this video, I'll be giving you the reasons why I use minnows in the summer, and I hope y'all enjoy this video. I appreciate y'all for clicking on this video. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. God bless you. You know I would not be doing this without you guys. If you haven't hit that subscribe button and you love you some crappie fishing, go ahead and hit it. Come join the 903 Fishing family. You won't regret it. All right, guys, we're about to get to it. Y'all stay tuned. Minnows, minnows, minnows. This is what we're talking about today. Throughout this video, like I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be giving you reasons why minnows are the best crappie fishing bait in the summer. There are plenty of reasons why. And I'm also going to be catching some fish for y'all along the way today. I hope y'all enjoy this video. Hopefully, if you're one of those fishermen that have the, you know, jigs only mentality, or I don't use minnows because it's easy, or whatever you want to call it, hopefully by the end of this video today, you're going to have a different mentality about that. First off, my mentality is I'm going to use whatever it takes to put fish in the boat. Now, of course, by legal means, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to put fish in the boat. And if that means putting a live minnow on there, then that's what I'm going to do. Now, first off, guys, my biggest reason on why I use minnows in the summertime is because, one, the fry hatch, the shad and the minnows, they do their yearly hatch. They get their babies out there in the summertime, okay? So that is what these crappie are naturally foraging on, is fry, shad and minnow fry, you know, an inch and a half, 2 inches long. That is what they are predominantly feeding on. So it makes sense to throw out there what they naturally would eat on a day-to-day basis. Why wouldn't you want to throw something out there that is going to mimic what they eat anyway? So that's one of the biggest reasons why I use minnows, because it works. It flat out works. That is what these crappie are naturally eating on in the summertime. To me, it's just common sense that minnows are going to be your best bait for summer crappie fishing. Oh, there he is. Is that a crappie? Oh, buddy. Look at that crappie, guys. Off that little small minnow. That's a keeper fish, too. I'm not keeping fish today. All right, that's a solid 10-inch crappie. 10.5 incher right there. We're not keeping fish. Like I said, today's objective is to kind of show y'all how these minnows right here are going to help you out in the summertime. Now, another thing that I like, guys, is, you know, you go spend about $10 on minnows and you're set for the rest of the day. Now, I understand that can be somewhat expensive for some, okay? But if you have the means, then it's not a bad situation to go spend $10 on minnows, and you can literally fish all day. I will use a minnow, guys. A lot of people talk mess about minnows and this and that, but me, I'm going to use whatever it takes, like I said. And I've been very successful with minnows. You know, I hate for people not to use a certain bait, because there's a stigma around it that if you use it, you can't fish. But in reality, you're using it and putting fish in the boat, so that tells me it's worth it. It's gonna work for you. So I don't understand that. I will use jigs too, guys, when the time is appropriate, but you know, summer crappie fishing, that is one of the best times to use minnows, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people ask me, well, I want the crappie hit artificial bait in the summertime, and it's just straight up, that's not what they're biting on right now. That's not what they want right now. They want that natural bait, that natural forage coming at them, and that is exactly what I'm giving them today. You're gonna catch fish on the minnows, guys. I can almost promise you. Now, as y'all know, I typically like to use my threading technique. I've basically strictly went to threading these minnows on. And if you've been around the channel the past couple of months, you know I've caught 2 to 4 crappie off of one minnow from using that threading technique. So that is also saving you as well. Uh-oh, there he is, I think. Is that him? That's him. It's a smaller guy. Yeah, oh yeah, real small guy. But see, look here, example A right there. Look, I should have caught that fish. It was a little smaller guy, but guess what? I still have the minnow. So we're gonna toss it back out there. I'm starting to notice that the surface temperature is getting really, really hot. It's about 90 degrees, and these crappie are starting, they're still in that 17 to 20 foot range water depth, but they're starting to, oh, there he is. But they're starting to sit lower in the water column. That's another small fish right there. A little small black crappie. A little smaller guy. See, he actually took that minnow, but you know what? I'm gonna let him have a snag. I'll let him have that snag. But I can almost guarantee you that those crappie are gonna bite that minnow. You bring that minnow across their face, they're just not going to be able to resist it. Oh, that's him. Look, that's him. Oh, I got it. I got him. Oh, that's a better fish. A little better. White crappie. That's a keeper. That's a 10-incher or so. That's a 10-inch crappie, guys. Not a bad fish. Right now it is about 6:45 in the morning. And these crappie are sitting about 13 and a half feet deep right now. As the day progresses, I'm probably going to have to go more into that 14, 16 foot range. I may have to find a brush top in deeper water. Now this right here is actually a brush top, and then there's 2 stumps beside it. I've learned that brush top is going to have more smaller fish on it, and the 2 stumps that are beside that brush pile, that is what's going to hold your bigger fish, in my opinion. Well, that's just what I've learned from experience. Your stumps will hold bigger fish. Why? I do not know the answer to that. I'm trying to relay to y'all what I have found out. Uh-oh, is that him? I don't know if that's a crappie or not. If it is, it's a good fish. Is that a crappie? It is. Oh man, that's a good one. Oh, that's a decent fish. That's a 12-incher probably. Look at there. That's a good fish, guys. Nothing wrong with that fish. Got him in the tongue. Sorry, brother. That's a good fish. He's bleeding a little bit. Get him back in there. Guys, here is a pure example. Look at here. I'm sitting here fishing, and I got my down scan right here. Look, this is a pure example of what I'm trying to say right here. This right here is a ball of bait just going under the transducer. And what happens is when these balls of baits, when they go by these brush piles and stumps, these crappie come out, they feed, and then they go right back to the cover. But look, that is a hatch fry right there. That's fry. And that is a great reason. I know I've already said it, but that is an example. It's off the screen now. There's another small one right there coming. There it is right there. That is why you use minnows in the summer, guys. It's not hard. That is a pure example right there. That ball of bait coming over those brush tops and stumps, that is exactly what you're imitating right there. I just happened to look down at that fish finder and just happened to see that ball of bait coming through there just like that. Oh, there he is. Oh guys, if that's a crappie, that's a big fish. Oh man, that's good. Is that a black crappie? No, it's a white. But look at that fish. Look at that, guys. That is solid. There you go, right there. That is a solid keeper crappie right there. Probably about 12 and a half. Look at there, that minnow right in the top right there. Ate that minnow up just like that right there. That's a good fish. That minnow's kind of done, but look at that, guys. Great crappie right there. 12-incher. Not massive, but still a good eater fish. Let's put him back. And a lot of the times, guys, believe it or not, in the summertime, this is what your average minnow is going to look like right here. It's about 1.5 inch, 1.75 or so. That right there is what you want. Now, of course, you know, bigger minnow ain't bad, but that right there will catch you a crappie in the summertime. Throw it out there and work it. Guys, y'all already know, 8-foot ACC crappie sticks right here. All right, super grip. Today I'm using the Shimano Sienna. It's going to be the 500 series right here, and I like these reels too. 8-foot ACC crappie sticks, guys. This is my slip corking rod. Okay, this is my slip corking rod, whether I'm in the creek or I'm on the big lake. This right here is what I'm going to slip cork with. Yeah, guys, I was reading an article the other day, and I do a lot of reading about crappie fishing as well, and it said that minnows are simply the best bait for crappie fishing. You know, they primarily feed on minnows, shad, and tiny bluegill, and so that is what their natural bait is. That's why minnows, even though some people won't admit it or some people won't use them, minnows are going to be your best bait for crappie fishing, no doubt. I mean, if you're a jig fisherman and you just want to straight use jigs, that's fine, but I can almost promise you there's been days where you didn't do so well with jigs only, and if you would have had a couple dozen minnows on the boat, your whole day would have been turned around. I would rather have them and not need them than not have them and need them. That's just how I think about using minnows right there. I wanted to show y'all something real quick. Another reason why people don't like to use minnows is because you have to keep them alive, and in the summertime that can be hard. All right, but I'm going to tell you what I do. I usually have some ice back here on some drinks, and periodically I'll get some of that ice, get a couple handfuls or so, and I put that in that minnow water. I got one dead minnow floating in there out of 4 dozen, so I think I'll take that. But that right there is going to cool down that water. It's going to keep those minnows alive. Now, what I used to do in the past, if you've been watching the channel, I used to get those small little water bottles, the little water bottles, freeze them, and those right there, I would bring 1 or 2 with me every trip, and it would last me the whole day. Just keeping that water cool, that's primarily what you got to do. And of course, as you can see, I have oxygen to them. Okay, here's my oxygen right here. I got that in there with them. Mr. Bubbler right here on the side. But I'm telling you, there are things you can do to keep those minnows alive, and they're easy and very simple. I'm trying to see if there's not a few more crappie on this pile. Maybe time to move. I've probably pulled about 10 off. All right, guys, sorry for no hook set, but that is a decent fish. It's a decent crappie right there. I don't know why I got him at the bottom, but you know what? That's, he's on the deck. He's on the deck. Stop it. That's a nice little keeper fish. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, is that him? There he is. Look at there. That's catfish. That's a crappie. That is a stud. And it's catfish, like I said. Now, guys, this brings me to another point, actually. Kind of glad I caught this catfish today. Guys, I have caught largemouth bass, crappie, catfish, flathead catfish. I caught a 29-pound flathead off a brush pile the other day, and it's ridiculous. And look at there, guys, this is my leader. Look, this is my leader in his mouth. Look, this is my rig on my pole right here. Look, but look, this guy has a leader in his mouth. I wonder if that is mine hook. It's probably going to be mine, but you know what, I'm just gonna let him go. But another reason to use minnows is you can catch all kinds of fish on these brush tops. I mean, crappie, bass, catfish, white bass. I have caught so many different species, and you know what, if you're one of those anglers that eat all different types of species of fish, this is another good reason why to use minnows right here. I mean, you can have a buffet of all different kinds of fish in the cooler by the end of the day by using these minnows on top of these brush piles. A little different spot. See if any crappie are here in this area. This we're sitting in about, look at there, look at that fry right there. Right there, that is fry. We're in about 17 foot of water or so, about the same depth that we was in earlier, and we're gonna see if there's any crappie here. Oh, dang it, these waves are killing me today. That's one. Look at there. So, oh, second, oh yeah, second cast on the pile. Good old 12-inch crappie right there. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, fish. Look at that. Minnow's destroyed, but you know what? Good keeper crappie, baby. Let's see if we can't catch another one. All right, guys. Sorry for no hook set, but look at that crappie right there. Live minnows coming in handy. And look at that. Once again, still got that bait. Good 12-inch crappie. See if there's another one. I actually caught that one right by the boat. The wind is giving me so many problems right now. Now guys, you don't have to slip cork these minnows, okay? If you're not comfortable with a cork, then you can tight line these minnows. You can get close on these brush tops, and you can just hang poles off the side of the boat. Uh-oh, there he is. Well, there he is. Look at that, right by the boat, baby. Oh, look at that black crappie. I don't know if y'all can see that cork or not, but come on, fish. Black crappie feisty, y'all. That's probably about a 9-incher probably. He probably wouldn't make 10, but you know what? We're not keeping fish, so I'm just out here trying to show y'all what these minnows can do. All right, guys, no hook set, but I had to play around with the depths a little bit. And you know what? That's a little, he might be a keeper. He may be right at 10 inches maybe, but there we go. Let's see if we can't get another one. I told y'all in a previous video that crappie fishing can be a matter of inches, guys. Like, that could be the difference. You're fishing a couple inches shallower, you know, 6, 12 inches or whatever shallower, deeper. That could mean the difference in a good day and a bad day right there. There he is. There he goes. I bet it's a black crappie because he's running, and it's not a black crappie, but you know what? That's a keeper fish. There we go. Look at that minnow, guys. Look at that minnow with that threading technique. All you got to do, push that minnow down, get that hook off. That's a keeper fish. And then look, I still got that minnow. Let's see if we can throw it back out there. Let's see if we can throw it back out there and catch another one. And I saw fish on the pile with the 2D down here. So I knew there was fish. I had already anchored up and could, oh, there he is. Look at there, same minnow, guys. Same minnow. Feels like a decent fish. Little black crappie. Probably about a 9-incher or so. But look at that. See, there's 2 fish off 1 minnow. Now that minnow is done now, okay? The minnow is done, but there you go. People talk about minnows being expensive. All you gotta do, if you do this threading technique that I'm showing y'all, you can make 2 or 3 dozen minnows last all day if you're catching numerous fish off 1 minnow. Now, do I catch numerous fish off each minnow? No. The majority of the time, I can get 2 fish off 1 minnow. Most of the time. There he is. Oh, that's a small guy. Oh, that's a catfish or a brim. Yeah, look at there. Look at there, guys. I've also caught a couple catfish today. Remember what I was telling y'all? You catch anything off these minnows. That's a good brim too. Throw that back. All right, guys, so I'm having huge problem with the wind today. I cannot stay still to save my life, but you know what? We're still catching some fish. Not a big fish, but we're still catching some fish. But I cannot stay still. I got Wake Boat City out here right now, of course. I don't know why I thought it'd be, I don't know. You know, those wake boats, they ain't good for nothing. We have put some crappie in the boat today. I mainly wanted to show y'all why you need to use minnows. You know, if you got people talking down on you about using minnows, then they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't know what they're talking about. Look at that. Look at this. I know it don't look as bad on the camera, but I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm having to fish through this crap, and they just keep going right by me over and over, so it ain't like they care. What's going on, family? All right, so I'm about to head back to the boat ramp. I want y'all to stick around. Right now is a good time to hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that like button for me. I'd greatly appreciate that. But today's video, once again, wasn't about catching limits and catching a lot of fish. It was showing y'all that these minnows are the bait to use in the summertime for various reasons. When we get back to the boat ramp, I'm going to go back over those reasons just in case you missed one. Y'all stay tuned. All right, family, I'm back at the boat ramp, and when I tell you it's hot out here, it is hot. All right, it's 11 o'clock right now in the morning, and it's about 94 95 degrees. Guys, this surface temperature is 89 to 91 right now, and that's hot. I mean, that is tremendously hot for these crappie. They're going to be lethargic. They're not going to want to bite. So especially in the summertime, these live minnows are going to be your ticket to possibly a successful day on the water crappie fishing. Once again, the main reason why I use minnows is because minnows are natural bait for those crappie that are already in the lake. All right, and also the fry hatch happens in the summer. The shad and the minnows, they have their babies, and that is what is in the water right now for these crappie. I showed y'all that bait ball on the fish finder, and that bait ball, those little fry stay together, and they will just go across the lake, and they will cross those brush tops and those stumps. Now when they do, those crappie will come off those brush piles and off those stumps, and they will just bombard that bait ball. They won't go too far away from that structure. As soon as that bait ball gets too far, those crappie will come back to the structure where they feel protected. But once again, you can't beat natural bait, guys. If that's what they're feeding on, that's what I'm going to give them. And I'll say this again, if somebody tells you that you can't fish because you use minnows, you more than likely catch more fish than them, and they just don't like it. I'm being brutally honest about this one. I can't stand when people say, if you use minnows, you don't know how to fish, etc. That makes me sick, especially when I put fish in the boat. If I'm putting fish in the boat, remember, that's all that matters, guys. If it takes minnows to put the fish in the boat, that's what I'm gonna do. Real quick, I wanna shout out ACC Crappie Sticks. Guys, be sure to go get you an ACC Crappie Sticks at acccrappiesticks.com. Right here, here's the website, accrappiesticks.com. Be sure to go get you one. And also shout out to In and Out Power Sports, jet ski and boat repair. There's Matt's phone number right there. Guys, be sure to hit him up. He doesn't just work on big boats, he also works on jet skis, and he has an on-call service where he will meet you out on the lake, or he will meet you at your boat dock, your boat slip, etc., and he will get you back on the water quick and in a hurry. Once again, this video today was not about catching a lot of fish. It's the dog days of summer, like I said, and sometimes live bait is going to be the only thing to get these crappie to bite. I appreciate y'all for watching this video. If you haven't, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, thank you for all the likes, comments, shares. Guys, this channel is growing because of you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Y'all know I would not be doing this without you guys. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed and you love you some crappie fishing and you love tips and tricks on how to catch those crappie, this is the channel for you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come join the 903 Fishing family. Like always, like, comment, and subscribe to 903 Fishing. Y'all have a great day. God bless.